everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about forgiving others. So I think this is a really also a hard one. Forgiving yourself is hard also, but forgiving others is different because people like to be like, you know, I don't have to see them, so you know, they're not affecting me. But when the topic comes or the person's name comes or you see the person, you get a bit pressed, innit? So yeah, I think this topic is a bit hard. So let's get down to it. So having someone far away from you who has offended you is a iffy one. For me personally, it was a family member. But yeah, this person, whew, the offense was big. And it, for me, yeah, okay, I'm gonna tell you a bit about myself. For me to forgive, I say this, but it still takes time for me to forgive. But for me to forgive, yeah, it needs to be like, you have to feel remorseful for me to forgive you. Like, if you offend me, yeah, and you have no form of remorse or anything, and you're still hurting the wound, no, don't do it. It was so annoying. It was so long, because it was just like, so what do I do now? I could actually say that I hated this person at one point in my life. Like, so, right, because I didn't have to see them, you know. However, we were, obviously because they're family, interlinked regardless. So, do you know what? I'm going to tell you who it is. Can't be asked. It was my stepdad. Didn't like him. Can't stand him. Still can't stand him. But, you know, God is in control. So obviously he's my stepdad, so he's the biological father of my younger brother and sister. This is so bad. I'm really bashing their dad on YouTube, but it's a testimony, whatever. So yeah, he offended me like deep for multiple years, and I remember I was just like, I'm over it because I don't have to see him. It's like, it is what it is, like, but it was hard, I ain't gonna lie, because now deep in it, he was my dad, you know. So it was just like, how can someone do that to you? Because at one point I was saying, hi dad, you know what I mean? Like, that's someone that was very close to me, so it did affect me. Like, I was a daddy's girl, do you know what I mean? And it was really hard. There were some situations where I was just like, why is my life like this, type of thing. But I got over it because I felt like I didn't have to see him. I didn't know what he was doing, and I had other family members that were there supporting me. So nah, and because he kept on offending me as well, that helped me kind of just go over him. But I hadn't forgiven him, and this is when I'm gonna tell you how I knew. I thought I had. I was just like, because I don't see him, it is whatever. Until the day of my graduation, and he came, and I was so bored. I was like, what? Are you really here? And I started crying because I hadn't dealt with the whole purpose of forgiving him. I hadn't dealt with the anger and the frustration, and obviously because he's much older than me, oh my days, there's a massive bee at my window. Whew. Anyway, sorry. It was really big. So what was I saying? Yeah, I hadn't dealt with the issue, so I was getting really emotional. And obviously because he's much older than me, in my culture it's deemed as rude and disrespectful to kind of say your point of view and how you feel to an elderly person, and regardless if they offended you, you still have to show respect. So I had to say hi to him, I had to take photos with him, and after my graduation I was just like, do you know what, there's issues I need to deal with, like issues I need to sort out. And because obviously I always feel like religion and culture always clash for this main reason, because I couldn't talk to him, number one, out of respect. I didn't want to be rude, I didn't want to be malicious, and he always uses like my siblings as like a scapegoat, so I just didn't want any confrontation or anything. So I kind of had to hold it all in, and the reason how I solved it was I just had to cry for a bit, and I knew I was never going to get an apology from him. I think that's one thing that is hard as well in terms of forgiving people. Sometimes, you know what, you're never going to get the apology, you're never going to get the closure as to why that person done what they did, but you still have to move on. And I never got that from him. I never got why he did what he did. I never got an apology, a sincere apology, and he kept on doing one who was close to you, and yeah, they're not close to you anymore, obviously, because of the obvious reasons. So what I would say is that how I got over it was I just had to give it to God. Some people are just going to be who they are, regardless of who they affect, anything. And I learned that I was spending too much of my energy fixating on a relationship that could never be fixed, because that person could never change. So I had to now move on, and had to move on with no closure, no apology, anything. And I feel like it's always good to have like a journal. So I was able to just write down all my feelings, and just be like, okay, God, just help me to forgive this person. And you know what? So funny. I feel like when people pray, they expect results so quickly. This took a minute. This took like a year. And how I got validation was that he offended me again. And I was just like, oh, okay. Because it gets to a point where I was just like, that's you. You're the one who's offended me. You're spending energy doing something wrong to me. I'm not going to transfer that energy over to you so you can get gratification. No, honey. Not today. So I just feel like that helped a lot. And like I said in my previous video, self-reflection, you have to love yourself, yo, because if you don't, it's like you're spending time and wasting time on someone who's sleeping and not even thinking about you. So that helped to just self-reflect and to just be like, yo, I'm gonna get through it, and it is what it is. And just being mature, because before I wanted to just knock on his door and be like, yo, what's good? As small as I am, there was just no more respect there, but I just had to let it go. And that only came through time. We're talking about 10 years, 11 years of just feeling offended and feeling betrayed. It took time. So I hope that helped. If this helped you in any way, or if you guys feel like you want to talk about something else, please put it in the description box. Joe, please write it down below. And if you have any like personal issues that you want me to, you know, voice out on this channel, obviously, like I said, like I always say, everything be confidential. Yeah, just email me. That's on the description box with all my social media sites. And yeah, like, you know, thumbs up, subscribe, do whatever it is that you guys do. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again. Bye.